Football Club are going to win at the English Premier League title this season? Well, that's still a question mark until the month of May. Let's see how it goes. For Chelsea Football Club are still in the news of Enzo Maresca. Well, leaving his job as the head coach of Chelsea Football Club, who is the leading candidate to become the head coach of Chelsea Football Club. Well, also we discuss about the African Cup of Nations, where the Super Eagles, they are gearing up for that encounter against Mozambique in Fes later this weekend. Well, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Stanley Wabali, we'll take a listen to what he has to say about the criticism in which he has faced. Remember, he has come under scrutiny by many for his performance since the death of his father and also his mother. Well, Stanley Wabali says he sees all the comments, he sees all the criticism, but he has something to say about it. Being a better man with all the criticism. And then we look at Gabonese football. The Panthers of Gabon, remember, after their ouster from the African Cup of Nations, well, the team, they've been suspended, and now they have a new minister for sports. Well, all of these we'll discuss on today's edition of the show, Scoreboard in 15, right on 32 FM 94.9. And you are listening to the voice of Oluwatimilai SAMIES, so get on the program this lovely Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. It's a build-up to what we expect later this weekend there in the world of sports. But at large, it is the world of football. Anthony Joshua, after that tragic incident that happened earlier this week, well, he has been discharged from hospital, and the bodies of his friends and trainer have been flown in out of the country. And then you say that it is not the best of news as regards Anthony Joshua. But we join our partners now, the BBC, to take a listen to what he has for us from the occurrence from yesterday's Premier League game, which saw Liverpool play out a draw against the Leeds. That was a goalless draw. Crystal Palace against Fulham. The game ended 1-1. And then we had Manchester City face off against Sunderland 0-0. Brentford against Tottenham 0-0. 2 goals were scored yesterday, and that was at the Shells Park between Crystal Palace and the Fulham Football Club, with Gianfilippo Mateta scoring the first goal of the English Premier League calendar year 2026, with Tom Kiney equalizing for that Fulham Football Club. We join our partners now, the BBC, to take a listen to what they have for us. After that, we'll discuss about the African Cup of Nations, all over the updates from the African scene. But first, the BBC Premier League update.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Paul Serres at the BBC Sports Centre. Manchester City missed the chance to move within 2 points of the English Premier League leaders Arsenal after they were held to a 0-0 draw by Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. Here's the Manchester City manager, Pep Guardiola.
Tough place to come, but when the amount of chances we miss in the 6-yard box, so not in a difficult one, a 6-yard box, we could not convert, and the first half was more equalized. We didn't do what we talk about our build-up, but in general, it was a really, really good game.
Liverpool and Leeds United played out a 0-0 draw at Anfield. The Reds' forward Ugo Ekitike has been praised by manager Arne Slot for staying on his feet when he could have won a penalty late on.
It's just a team who we are, and unfortunately this is not recognised a lot, because in the second half I saw players of them going down in their own box so many times, and every time the referee rewarded that with a free kick. So yeah, the big question is, should we change, yes or no?
So should you?
I don't think we should, because this is who we are.
In the day's other matches, Tottenham and Brentford played out a 0-0 draw at the GTEC Stadium on Thomas Frank's return to the club, and Crystal Palace conceded a late equaliser in a 1-1 draw against Fulham at Selhurst Park. Meanwhile, the Spurs forward Brennan Johnson has agreed to join Crystal Palace for a fee of $47 million, and the Strasbourg head coach Liam Rosenior is the leading candidate to replace Enzo Maresca as Chelsea's head coach. Maresca left the Blues on New Year's Day by mutual consent after a run of just 1 win in 5 matches in December and reported issues between Maresca and the club hierarchy. And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
All right, there you listened to the BBC Premier League update from the games that went down at the Shelter Park, at the Anfield, at the GTEC, and also at the Stadium of Light yesterday. But for Enzo Maresca, remember yesterday we told you about his record: 92 games, 55 victories, 16 draws, and 21 defeats. But above all, he won 2 trophies. That was the UEFA Europa Conference League, as well as the extended edition of the FIFA Club World Cup. But now Rosenau seems like the man who is set to take charge of Chelsea Football Club. Remember that for Chelsea, they said that they are going to appoint a new manager before the end of the season. But before that, we would see Willy Caballero take charge of Chelsea against Manchester City later this weekend. Moving on from that, we know that the transfer window in English football, or in the world of football, also is set to be open. And for Tottenham Football Club, if the sale of Brennan Johnson definitely comes by, it would mean that they've lost their previous season's top scorer 3 years in a row. Harry Kane, he left for Bayern Munich. Heung-min Son, well, of course, he left for American football. And Brennan Johnson, who definitely looks like he is going to leave the football club at this point in time. Well, for West Ham Football Club also, there are reports that they are interested in a January move for Raheem Sterling, who has been out from that Chelsea Football Club. But then we talk about the English Premier League games that happened yesterday, where Liverpool and Leeds, they extended their unbeaten run. And of course, yesterday also marked Liverpool's first goalless draw in 117 matches in all competitions. All right, let's move away from that and go straight to the African Cup of Nations, where the round of 16 games are set to begin later tomorrow. That's on Saturday. But for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we know we're playing against Mozambique, because we finished that's top of our group. That's Group C. And for Mozambique, they finished third. They're in Group F. And then you tell that Nigeria's clash with Mozambique, it will be for only the 6th time at the senior level, and both teams go for each other in that's a round of 16 games of the African Cup of Nations. That's on January 5th. So let's take a listen to the words of Stanley Wabali speaking about the criticism in which he has faced in recent time. And of course, when we come back, we'll definitely jet to talk about more European football, as we are set to experience football games across different leagues later tonight in France, in Italy, and also the return of Spanish football. But first, let's take a listen to the words of Stanley Wabali there in Morocco, speaking about the criticism in which he has faced in recent time.
You talk about losing your smile due to the tragedy you've faced in recent times. So how do you handle online trolls? And do you think Nigeria fans are too hard on you?
I don't feel like they are too hard on me. I only see two things there. They make me strong, and they try to be passionate. Yeah, it's true. It's nice when one thing I love most is facing challenges. I love it so much, and couple with what has been happening to me. Talking about the fans or something, it happened in football. I'm not the first person, and I don't think I'm going to be the first person. So I take it. It only makes me stronger.
For 2025 AFCON, what is the team doing to better the last appearance in Ivory Coast?
It's obvious. It's obvious. You can see it. Why I say you can see it? Last year AFCON, we win 2, we draw 1. This year AFCON, we win 3/3. Yeah, different managers, you might say. And last year AFCON, we didn't score a lot of goals in the group stage. Usually we score more. Maybe probably might be second in this tournament, scoring a lot of goals. For you to see a lot of improvement in the team. The same players, maybe 1 or 2 players that is not here, but the same players, yeah.
All right, today listen to the words of Stanley Wabali speak about the online trolls in which he has faced, where he mentioned that he's not the first and definitely is not going to be the last. He also mentioned about what the Super Eagles of Nigeria would be doing better, or they are doing better at this year's African Cup of Nations. But two, I can attest to. We have scored the most goals at the African Cup of Nations this year with 8 in the group stages, and also we finished the group stages without a defeat alongside Algeria. But that is not about the job. We have to get it to the finish line, and a better performance at the last time out there at the African Cup of Nations there in Ivory Coast. But later today, we have games set to go down across the different centers in the that's a French league. It is Toulouse against Lens. In Italy, Cagliari against AC Milan, and in Spain, Rayo Vallecano against Getafe. And tomorrow, the action returns proper. The African Cup of Nations, the English Premier League, French football, Italian football, and Spanish football. The German Bundesliga, they still have this a week for their break, and then we'll cross our fingers until they appear next weekend to play German football. In the world of basketball, just before we leave, Houston Rockets defeated the Brooklyn Nets in the early hours of today, 120-96. The Boston Celtics got the better of the Sacramento Kings, 120-106. The Philadelphia 76ers also defeated the Dallas Mavericks, 123-108. And the LA Clippers got the better of the Utah Jazz, 118-101. While the Miami Heat defeated the Detroit Pistons 118-112. And this is how far we can go on today's edition of the show. We'll come later in the afternoon and also still further discuss the chances of Arsenal Football Club maybe winning the English Premier League title of this season, and also the best candidate to take over the reins at Chelsea Football Club. I am SAMIES, your sports captain. Till meet by 3:30. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.
32 FM
94.